is we've seen oil prices against our expectations shoot past $70. Now, I believe the last peak in oil prices was around 77, if I'm not mistaken. And if we hit a new high, then I think we'll be back in a period much like '06. In '06, oil prices went from roughly $60 toward the end of that year to where they ultimately topped out, I think, at 100, if I'm not mistaken, it was 100. I forget the absolute high, but every high since then has been lower. So the peak in oil prices, I think, was $140 in early 2008. And each peak after that has been lower. If oil prices break above that 77, we will see a higher peak for the first time, which is not in keeping with what we thought at all. One of the reasons is, of course, OPEC, and they have about 5 million spare barrels they could produce per day. They're not. They want to keep the oil price high enough so they can fund their budgets. But at some point here, they may end up killing demand. When they start seeing demand destruction because of pricing, I do think they'll start producing. And as you know, longer term, the combination of electric and autonomous electric vehicles, we think, is going to drive oil prices down. As I've said, now this is my point of view. We haven't done the research to get us here yet, but I think we could go down, back down to where oil prices landed after the cartel took over in the early 70s. And they went from, I think, $3 a barrel or $4 to $12 a barrel. I wouldn't be surprised ultimately to see us back there, especially as electric vehicles continue to take off. And they are starting to take significant share. And I think subsidies in China and elsewhere are going to accelerate the shift towards electric vehicles. So, and also helping it are the number of traditional automakers who are now have pulled out all the stops, and they are designing and producing electric vehicles because they're better cars, they're better for the environment, they're better performing. It makes a lot of sense. And most important for the consumer, from the consumer's point of view, from an adoption point of view, is their prices will continue to fall. So again, the deflationary undertow there.